Welcome to Walking with Jesus Bible Study. We are going to be in the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 20. There it is. He that handleth a matter wisely shall find good, and whoso trusteth in the Lord, happy is he. Oops, go in there. Sorry about that. I didn't realize I had on there or not. Should be right in the middle of the screen. And I'm repeat that. He that handleth a matter wisely shall find good, and whoso trusteth in the Lord, happy is he. It is good and profitable to use God's wisdom to solve situations. When they try and solve situations using their own emotions, mistakes will always be made. You will find joy and happiness when you rely on the wisdom of God, because it always ensures that situations turn out for the best. When we are caught in our emotions, we are then caught in our flesh. And we know what? That the flesh belongs to the devil. Mainly because he's the one who wants to get caught up in this angriness, in this rudeness. And usually in those times of anger and sadness, we tend to do things that we regret. We tend to say things that we regret. Why? Because it's that demon, that's that devilish coming into us and making us do things that will make the devil happy and not what pleases the God. Our God does not want us to be saying things in anger and mad, because we're clearly not thinking straight. And that's why it emphasizes that when people tell you, come on, you're clearly not thinking straight. Oh, I wouldn't do that. You're just being too emotional. Meaning you're not being in your right mind. You're being in your emotions. Your emotions are not smart. They're not intelligent. You, on the other hand, are. They're feelings. And being led by feelings is being led down a wrong path. Whether they even be happy feelings. Because sometimes what we think our heart wants and we go to follow our heart isn't always smart, because our brain knows better. But we're listening to our heart, and it's going to take us down the wrong road. So it's not just always about being in anger or being in sadness. Being a little bit too excited and too joyous can also be very damaging to us, because we're not paying attention to the reality sometimes of things. That's why sometimes when we're in relationships, we don't see the red flags. We're too joyous. We're too happy. We're too blinded by love to see what is. Now, if somebody was to tell us there's love story, we're quick to say, why are you doing that? Girl, it clearly shows that he does not like you. He's clearly showing you that he's not into you. And yet you don't hear it when it's happening to yourself, because you are blinded by that emotion. But it's clear as day when it's not happening to you, and so it's happening to somebody else. You can quickly see those red flags, because you're not caught up in the emotion, the same emotion that person is caught up in, to see the red flags. So when we comment on any post, we should be very much, that's why God says it many times in the scriptures, be very slow to speak, quick to hear. Hear what they're telling you, but be very slow to speak. Even Jesus was slow to speak, and he knew it all. He knows it all, but in his flesh, he still paused before he spoke. Now, when those Pharisees brought that woman that was caught in the act of committing adultery, it was very suspicious to me. Because first of all, if there was making it to be the law, then where was the dude she was committing the act with? Who was he? And why wasn't he brought forth to be stoned also? Could it be that one of the Pharisees themselves was actually in that act? And that's how they caught her into the act? Nobody knows what Jesus was writing in that sand. They could have been writing, I saw you. I saw that. And one by one, they all dispersed away. Because it doesn't tell you. And yes, everybody has sinned. And yes, that is a great statement to say those who have not sinned to cast the first stone. But it could possibly be that the reason why they cast, or why they caught her, was that one of them was actually in the act of the adultery with her. Because they didn't bring forth no other man. And it was making him condemn the law of Moses and the law of Moses. Both people caught in the act of adultery is to be put to death. So why wasn't that man brought forth to be put to death? It makes you think. It makes you wonder. Now, I'm not saying that's what the Bible says, because it doesn't say that. That was a theory coming out of my mouth. So don't be quoting, and the Bible said that it was one of the Pharisees. I'm just telling you to use your own knowledge and use your own wisdom. But it could possibly very well be. But Jesus was writing in the sand as an form to ignore them. So therefore they repeated themselves again, as if he did not hear them the first time. So they repeated themselves, and then boom, drop mic. Because what came out of Jesus' mouth was a jaw dropper. He who has done no sin cast the first stone. Oh, boom, boom. Man, don't we just all love it when somebody's like, oh, burn, like, dang. It's cool to be very, very quick and witted. I'm very witty and I'm very quick with it. And it can be very harsh, but some people are very much not so. And so the things that come immediately out their mouth doesn't tend to make no sense. It's not going to be one of those good ones. It's going to be a drop of mic. But if we was to be quiet for a minute and let the emotions settle so we can use our brain, then we can put forth correction, correct wordings, things that we may not have to say or apologize for later or regret saying. We got to make sure very much that we are slow to speak, slow to comment. Make sure that what we're going to speak is going to be of truth and of knowledge. Sometimes the very things that we are going to say, we know in our heart to be true, but it could have been that the truth that we have know it may not be the truth at all, but that somebody had told us a lie, or we have learned a lie because we was told by somebody who was in a situation or in a position that was supposed to teach us the truth and therefore told us a lie. And now we're just repeating that lie. And we are commenting on somebody who was telling the truth, whom God had revealed the truth to them and told them to share everybody because everybody knows a lie. And so therefore now you're sitting there arguing with somebody who is speaking the truth and you swear that you know the truth, but you were spreading a lie. So sometimes you got to be quiet. Make sure that what you know is to be of facts. See, the Pharisees thought they were speaking the truth, but they didn't believe in what they were speaking, nor did they actually know all of the truth. But they assumed because they was the law and they told the law that therefore they are the law. But in actuality, the truth was that Jesus was the law. And he knew the law and he was speaking the truth and he was living the truth. Don't be a Pharisee. Be slow to speak.